Last time on Square Roots, we bare our throats for the necromancer, spend some time in denial, and meet a member of the landed gentry. Later, Garl's not the only one on the kitchen. We're served up a heaping helping of betrayal.
And welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Hello.
Johnny Brugaves Brandon.
I'm Brugaves.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs one chunker at a time. And this is episode 4 in our Sea of Stars series. Matt, that is a big mug of beer.
I got this mug in the Czech Republic.
Oh.
Oh.
That's why it says you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. But Czech is spelled C-Z-E-C-H.
I bet
I've never heard of a word with another word spelled in the middle of it. Like, if I had a friend named Fred, I wouldn't be like, his name is spelled F-Red.
You should.
Canadians.
Do you guys have any hot gaming news you want to share with the class?
I have a piece of hot gaming news.
Wow.
Matt does.
Wow.
Did y'all know that the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver remaster dropped on, like, December 7th, maybe? And somehow I didn't know about it?
You know about it now.
I do know about it now, and that's my level up, but that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how somehow I didn't fucking know this game came out.
Sure.
They did the same thing with that Thing remaster. It just kind of dropped one day.
Yeah. I think that they do that when they're like, we didn't do a good job on this.
Maybe nobody will play it.
That's my hot gaming news.
There's a new Spider-Man game coming out. That's a thing?
I have not heard of that, but maybe.
Oh, it's a Marvel animation thing. It's
Spider-Man freshman year?
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Sure.
I watched the Spelunky thing on Secret Level, and it felt like an ad for Spelunky.
It was super bland. It was like the blandest one, I thought.
Mm-hmm. I kind of thought that they intentionally lined up their best episodes in the first half of that season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because the second half was pretty fucking bland. Hey, that Pac-Man episode did not seem like an advertisement for Pac-Man, and then it turned out that it was.
It really was.
That is hot gaming news.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up because I don't remember. Give me a second.
It's like a roguelike Pac-Man game, right? Edgier.
I've always wanted an edgier Pac-Man. He's too round and blunt.
In the episode, Pac-Man is kind of the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Pac-Man is the villain. He chomps everyone's cherries. He chomps all the ghosts. They're not doing anything. They're just living their lives. Or
It's true.
not, I guess, because they're...
There's a Nier Automata sequel has been teased by Square Enix.
Hey, I said hang on while I looked it up, and you're jumping into other news.
How do you do a sequel to that game?
So after that secret level episode of Pac-Man came out that didn't seem to be related to Pac-Man in any way, shape, or form, Bandai Namco dropped a trailer for a game called Shadow Labyrinth, which is that episode of Secret Level, but a game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Weird. It's like a roguelike, and you're like a dude with a sword, but a little Pac-Man follows you around. You know what's really weird? Shadow Labyrinth it's not Pac-Man Shadow Labyrinth. Confusing.
Mm-hmm. I watched that Outer Worlds episode and thought it was a big piece of crap. I hated it. It actually made me mad.
no.
The plot of it, and it's just super, super ugly. I did not like it. It made me angry.
I liked it. I thought it was
I wanted to see.
a fun, hot take satire of capitalism. You know
Jim's
what I mean?
like, don't you dare make fun of capitalism.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's not what we do on this podcast.
Which is exactly what Outer Worlds was. So
capitalism.
Yeah,
but like, it was so cruel to the main character, and like showcasing themes that the game already did. Like, okay, I get it.
I mean,
I don't know.
why would
I
they
didn't like
not
how mean
showcase
it was to the main
Spoil it
character.
for me.
I didn't like how mean it was. It was mean.
Okay. Watch it already then. Like, what do you want from us? We want to talk about it.
It came out like 2 weeks ago.
Vanessa has put on her Geordie LaForge visor,
Oh, cool.
a.k.a. she's flipped her headphones upside down.
Yeah.
I did like the Exodus episode as well, and I like the Armored Core episode.
The Armored Core episode was good.
PlayStation 1 was crap.
I didn't watch that
crap
one. I did like the Warhammer 40K one a lot, and I
liked that
absolutely loved. And to me, the standout of the season was the Unreal Tournament one. That one was a banger.
I liked the Dungeons and Dragons one too,
Yeah, that was
and
good.
I liked the Sifu one.
The Dungeons and Dragons one
that
felt
one
like
with-
walking into the middle of a story and being like, "Who?
Yeah.
What? Huh?"
I did
Looked
like
good,
the
though.
one that Arnie was in, the New World
Oh, yeah.
one.
Yeah,
I liked
yeah.
that one. That one was pretty touching.
Yeah.
Okay.
None
That's
of
enough
this is
secret
hot
level
gaming
talk.
news except for
None of
me.
it's hot gaming news, really.
Talking about Shadow Labyrinth, which was a stealth ad. Do you think that Amazon or whoever, when they, accepted, I assume, Bandai Namco's offer to do a Pac-Man thing and then got what they got, do you think they knew that it was a stealth ad for a game that they were going to drop, or?
Probably. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a coincidence.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a
like-
coincidence. I'm wondering if Bandai Namco just kind of did like a stealth ad for their new game and didn't bother telling anybody what they were doing.
Also, that episode got a really negative reaction from people.
I really liked it. I watched it twice.
I thought it was
weird.
fun. Yeah, it's weird.
good.
Super weird. But I didn't think it was that bad.
All right. Is there any other hot gaming news? Since apparently this is secret level talk.
Well, Nier Automata getting a sequel. Jim says, "How could they do that?"
Confirmed?
Yeah, direct from Square Enix that they're teasing.
Is it Nier Automata a sequel?
Well, a
Yes,
sequel
it
to the
is.
Nier / Drakengard series.
Yeah, it goes like Drakengard, and there another game in there somewhere like Drakengard, and then Nier.
Yeah, Nier,
And
Gestalt,
then-
and Replicant.
Yeah, Nier Gestalt. Yeah.
Well, Gestalt and Replicant are basically the same game, but one, the protagonist is the girl's brother, and the other is her father. And
That's right.
Yeah.
Is the game playing behind Johnny being
It's
played
Teddy
by
game.
Teddy?
Yes.
Oh. I wondered what was going on back there. Was he watching the streamer play Tekken? Because Teddy's so good at Tekken that it looks like a streamer's play.
Oh.
Amanda just texted me and said, "I really wish I had a Costco Glizzy right now."
Oh.
I also wish I had a Costco Glizzy.
I've never had a Costco Glizzy. I know.
I
they're
wish
so
I
good.
didn't
Pretty
know
sure-
people who use the term glizzy so freely.
I'm pretty sure Teddy sent me a photo of his Costco Glizzy this past week.
John, we
That
don't want to
wasn't
hear
a-
about the
that wasn't a
pornography you
glizzy.
and your boyfriend send each other.
How was
That was
your
just a
Costco
wiener with
Glizzy?
ketchup and mustard on it.
How was your Costco Glizzy?
Good.
It was good.
They're high quality hot dogs.
Okay.
They are high quality and they're only $1.50. You get a hot dog and a drink for $1.50.
I've never had one and I want one.
They're so good.
I've had one, and it was a completely unmemorable experience for me.
Wow.
I feel like that's probably more true to life, honestly.
No, they're real good.
All right.
I don't trust you and your palate.
Now, how about we turn over to the quest log to see how the adventures of Zale...
That's not what we do after the level up.
Oh,
We
right.
we have some streams to plug.
There was a
We have
impromptu
to
Jim
plug
and Johnny
Bears and Games
stream.
Neo, or nobody will watch it. Obviously, oh my
Yeah.
god, it gets more views than our podcast gets downloads.
Jim and Johnny went to virtual reality
Yeah. Vanessa,
on the Square Roots YouTube channel.
what did you think of our trip to the VR wasteland?
I liked it a lot. I was a little bit disoriented because I'm so familiar with it in its two-dimensional form. And even though I was looking at it in 2 dimensions, It's like my friend Johnny was in there, and it was crazy.
Did you like me getting into everyone's faces? Because, except that if you get too
No.
close to them, they do move back. It was very sad
Yeah.
because I was having fun with that.
I found that uncomfortable. I also found it uncomfortable how you were, I think, attempting to grab everyone's butt
Yeah.
and then giggling.
Getting really close to their faces when you talk to them.
Yeah. I did give Nora a fist bump after she was lying dead in that cryo chamber. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, Nora. Fist bump.
Yeah, I will say this stream that Johnny's talking about took place on a Saturday. Normally, our streams take place on Wednesdays.
Yes.
That's when our regularly scheduled stream
But that was
happens every week.
Christmas.
Yeah. Wednesdays at around 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern is when we do our streams. Matt is about to finish. What's the game he's played? Illusion of Gaia. I always want to say Legend of Gaia. Illusion of Gaia. He has one episode of that left, and then I'm gonna play some Kingdom Hearts 2, so that'll be fun. John, you want to tell us about
it'll be fun
your
again.
YouTube channel?
Yeah, I just posted 2 new videos. There's the new Simpsons video that I posted. That is an hour and 45 minutes long somehow. I went a little crazy with that one. But there's also a 3.5 hour compilation of my first 5 open world video essays. Because YouTube suggested I do a compilation video. So I did.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Watching 3.5 hours of... It's just all the... You've seen all these before, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, but
I
not
understand
put
the
together.
concept, Johnny.
That's how a marathon works. Anyways, that video's doing well. Doing good numbers. I am now a partner in the YouTube Partners program, but not the tier that gets ad revenue. I gotta get 1,000 subscribers before I start getting that sweet ad revenue. So I put up a little poll on my channel to see which Switch port I'll review next, and BioShock was the winner. So I am playing that. So that'll be my next.
I love
Switch
BioShock
review. I'm a couple hours in now. I'd forgotten a lot about that game, but it's fun going back and revisiting it.
Yeah, I replayed it last year and enjoyed it quite a bit. I had never played BioShock 2 before. BioShock 2 is a great game.
Yes,
I
yes, it
don't
is.
think I've ever played BioShock 2.
It's I'd say mechanically more satisfying. The story's not as good, but it's
I think
more
the
fun
story
to
is
play.
great. Where you play a Big Daddy, I like that a lot.
And so yeah, that's our streams. Check out this coming week for what's that game called?
Illusion of Gaia.
Illusion of Gaia's
I almost said
shocking
Legend of Gaia again.
finale. We did
episode, last stream had some controversial moments.
Yeah, like when the Cambodian people were, or no, was it? Yeah, it's in Cambodia that they were trying to eat you because they were starving, and then a pig sacrificed itself.
Committed.
I still don't believe you guys that that's what happened.
Vanessa, I wouldn't make that up. It was.
Well, that's the great thing
shocking.
about streaming on YouTube, Vanessa, is that you can actually go back and just watch it for yourself.
You can see it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, it's at squareroots.youtube.com.
I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think so.
Square Roots / Square Roots 69.
Yeah.
That's our username.
And so we'll be and the week after we're going to be doing some Kingy Hearts.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts The Deuce. You guys want to talk about Sea of Stars?
Yes, please.
Not really.
Let's do it. Now it's been a while since we discussed this. Let me give you guys a refresher. Where we left off last time, we completed the Tower of Antsudlo, and we met Rashawn the Immortal Alchemist. Do you guys remember that? Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You heard about this?
I've heard about it. I didn't remember that that's what happened the last time, so I appreciate your recap.
Matt!
What? Did he show his butt?
No. He picked up the cat by the scruff of her neck.
Oh no.
She's just sitting here fucking biting me. And it's one thing when she's like looking for attention, and so she's kind of like bothering my arm, which is honestly really frustrating. But then she didn't like that because I was still ignoring her, so she started biting my leg. What the fuck, this cat?
It looks so
what, the
put
next
in
time
its
she
place.
runs out the door, I'm not going to run after her and be like, get back in here. I'm going to be like, good.
Get out of here.
Find a new
That
family.
now, but you love that cat.
Oh, boy. I tolerate that cat. My kids love that cat.
Sure.
So Rashawn is all like, hey, dudes, I think you guys could be pretty cool, but I need you to do something for me first. And he puts you on a fetch quest and says, go to Glacial Peak and get me the thing that's at the top of it. But it doesn't tell you what it is.
It's just something.
It's a
Just a
solstice armlet, right?
It's a solstice armlet. I like how short these dungeons are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we go to the Clockwork Castle later, I was like, oh man, this thing's gonna take forever. It does not. None of these dungeons take a long time at all. At all.
Yeah,
But
compared
we
to
go
like that Chrono Trigger dungeon that Jim was stuck in for 4 hours with the conveyor belts.
that one sucks.
I thought the same thing. I do appreciate that the dungeons are actually pretty short.
And
I
they make
still
you
find
feel
them incredibly
smart
boring.
for solving the
Yeah.
puzzles.
Yeah, in this one, in Glacial Peak, there's a couple puzzles you do on your way up. It's just moving some ice blocks around and then melting them. But there's like 3 or 4 puzzles that you can't complete because you don't have the armlet yet.
Yeah. I did like that it has an aspect of the design where you'll walk like across a frozen ice sheet and then loop around and you'll see yourself underneath the frozen ice sheet. I thought that was very cool.
It's a great looking game, for sure.
So we get to the top. Well, on our way up there, we have to fight 2 more of those cultists. We have to fight 2 and 4.
You know, they're
like
pretty
how they
haughty
keep
and full of themselves for people that 2 kids can easily defeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just show up and they're like, yeah, you're not going to get any further. And then you just beat them up and they're like, well, next time we're definitely going to beat you up. Goodbye.
These guys, they really don't factor into the plot at all. Really.
No, they're at all. They're pretty lame.
All.
But yeah, it's a little mini boss fight we get here. That's fun. So we go to the top. We get the solstice amulet, which lets us change the time of day whenever we like. So that's cool.
Yeah,
Now
we
we
don't
can
have to
do all
stand
those
on a thingy.
puzzles. Yeah, we don't have to stand on one of those glyph things. We can just do it wherever. So, and we do it. We got to go back down the mountain, and we can do some more quests here that involve melting some more ice. You can get a combo ability if you melt the right little ice thing. There's a little scroll that's trapped in an ice block. You get a fun combo, and then we need to go back and talk to Rashawn again. And then he tells us we have to do something else.
Yes.
He gives us another fetch quest.
Boo.
It was here that I
he's
went
like-
back and finally did like the first 2 of those solstice shrines so that I could get some extra things. I also found the fisherman guy. Matt kind of pushed me towards where to find the fisherman guy.
He was in like the first town, right?
Yeah.
He's in Moon Cradle.
Yeah, Moon Cradle. That's it. Let's talk about the side stuff for a second. Vanessa, I know you did all the side stuff. I think
I did
right?
it all.
Vanessa did it
Yikes.
all. Johnny, are you trying to do it all?
No.
I know Matt's not trying.
I'm
to
Team
do it all
Matt
either.
here. I'm just doing
Fuck
the stuff
no.
that looked fun.
I do think that it's actually worth doing it all. And that is including the
but do you
extreme
think it's-
tedium of going and getting all of the 60 rainbow conches, which I just did have to use a guide for.
Do you think it's worth doing it all, let's say, versus finishing the game and then just quickly watching a YouTube video with the true ending?
I think that you'll probably have the same experience either way.
No,
Except that I think that Johnny would really enjoy the combat arena once that opens up.
Oh,
there's
yeah, I forgot about
one
that.
particular
That's
character in it that I want him to see.
Yeah.
How do you
That's a
open
good
up
point.
the combat
That
arena?
is, that's super fun. That's a super
Well,
fun
you have to
quest.
find 60 rainbow conches. You have to do all of the shell quests. You have to kiss all the boys in the game. And then maybe God will come down from on high and bless you with the combat arena.
Yeah, every
I'm gonna be on a
character has like a
plane,
little side quest that you have to do for them,
this coming
and
week,
the
so
arena
we'll see. Maybe
is
I'll have time
one of the
to
characters'
do some of
side
that
quests.
stuff.
I will
Not
say I
only-
found Sarai's side
get
quest,
disconnected.
the boss on that one, to be really difficult and very frustrating.
It
Why are we
was
talking
tricky.
about this now and not in 2 weeks when we're finishing the game?
We'll talk about it again in 2 weeks, but there's no rule
Yeah.
that we can only do it once. I will say that not only did I do all the side quests, I also beat all of the Wheels champions and caught every single fish.
You caught all the fish too?
Uh-huh.
I already
Wow.
caught all the fish. That shit's easy.
You didn't catch all the fish, Matt. Don't lie.
I did.
All
least the
21 fish
fishermen-
species?
Yeah, the fisherman told me I caught them all.
What's in that pond that doesn't have anything in it? Is there like a secret fish in there?
That's
There's a
for
rainbow
the
conch on
secret,
the side.
super secret ending, which I thought you'd already done, Jim.
No,
This-
he's not
I-
cool enough to have done the
I-
super
I got
secret
the
ending.
I got the true ending.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's the
then you
true
should
ending,
remember-
not the true, true
maybe
ending.
no, you don't actually need it. It's a character's side quest, which you might have missed if you didn't talk to them at camp.
Good luck,
Oh,
Jim.
is it for Teeks?
Good luck, Jim.
I won't say.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't do that.
John, are you enjoying listening to them talk about stuff that A, is not relevant to this part of the game, and B, neither of us have done?
Yes,
I listened to you guys talk about Soul
loves it.
Calibur for like 20 minutes before we started recording.
it's true. I do like talking about Soul Calibur.
We're talking about Soul Reaver.
Soul Calibur is the best when you
Whatever.
set it to slippery mode so that everybody's real bouncy and slides around.
I did. I just posted a video of Soul Calibur to Blue Sky of my custom version of Astaroth, where he's just wearing a rubber suit, and Teddy's version of the Lizard Man. But the Lizard Man has a pride flag and a trans rights flag, so he called it Lizard Rights. It's very cute.
Tell Teddy to stop playing Tekken and start playing Soul Calibur on slippy mode.
I thought that your character, Johnny, was an alligator.
Oh.
Yeah, that was boo. Boo.
Ooh. So yeah, Rashawn's like, hey, in order for you to get to where you need to go, where that dweller be, you need to wake up the stone head, because it says all the Fleshmancer's tricks involve giant statues for some reason. So he's like, but in order to wake the head, I need to make a potion, and in order to make the potion and not have it take 200 years, I need my vial of time. So
Okay.
he's like, go get my vial of time, go to Torment Peak, get my vial of time. Oh, and also there's a dweller there that you need to kill while you're there.
This is really taking a wild spin from do one little favor for me.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not sure about this alchemist dude.
But how do you feel about baby gorillas?
Real good.
Yeah, they're so cute.
How do you feel? How do you feel about being forced to go to a place called Torment Peak? Because
Not
these
good.
are children.
Yeah.
Isn't there a Torment Peak in Chrono Trigger? Isn't that where you go, where you fight the lava spawn for the first time? Where
Jimmy, you're
going
the
to,
Chrono
like,
Trigger expert.
Yeah, sorry,
you're going-
Chrono
that-
expert.
That's the one you have to climb in order to bring Chrono back to life, I think. That's where, at the top of that, is where you do the
Oh
Chrono
no,
thing.
that's Twerking Peak.
Twerking Peak?
Yeah, where everybody-
Cool, that.
Shakes that butt.
Yeah.
Jim took me
It
seriously
is called
and is now
Death
Googling
Peak.
it.
Oh,
Death Peak.
Death
Chrono
Peak.
Trigger.
Yes.
Death Peak.
That's a totally
Yeah.
different concept.
So Torment
Death
Peak
is
has
the
been
end of
sealed
Torment
off
Peaks.
by the
Twerking Peak.
by the Solstice Warriors because Well, they say it's because they sealed some badness in there, but they don't actually remember. But fortunately, we do get given a little bit of a magic pill or something, or magic draft.
Yeah, he's like, hey,
draft.
it gives you like a potion of chained mind, is what he says.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
okay.
the idea is that Torment Peak like really fucks your brain up, and so he gives us something to nullify that
Yeah.
effect.
It makes you think that a giant monster is actually your gorilla mom.
Oh,
And it eats you.
yeah.
So we have to
It
go-
also is pretty gross in there. It's basically Guts Town. It's like
Yeah.
Gore Town.
Yeah. So we go into the peak, and it's like a really dark cave. We gotta light our way with some crystals. Another short dungeon. It was a short little dungeon.
Yep, it's just a couple of levels. You run into a bunch of gorilla kids that are trying to hide, but their little gorilla butts are sticking out. It's really adorable. And I took so many screen caps of this stuff because it was really fun because they like shouting the same thing at the same time. And I'm
I
always
found
for
that
it.
really annoying.
Oh.
They
What's
shout.
the
It was
deal
funny
with
once.
these gorillas?
They're
Say that
trapped
again.
in
With these
Torment
guys.
Peak. They shout about how they've never been outside. They want to know if clouds still exist. They say that they can't leave because their mother is in the basement and she's so beautiful and they love her. And they're waiting for her to call them, I guess. And occasionally one of them gets called and you get to go and be with her.
Do clouds still exist?
Do
Oh, look at his little butt.
do clouds still exist?
I see we took some similar. And also, don't be rude, son boy.
So you can go down to the basement and talk to their gorilla mother, who is a big old King Kong, and she's...
So I have a question about how all this works actually.
Queen
All
Kong.
right.
So, is she constantly birthing new baby gorillas for the dweller to eat? How long has this been going on?
How do you think that works?
Yeah, I feel like it's a broodmare situation, which is real
Ew.
upsetting.
Yeah.
I don't
'Cause,
think
like,
so, because
you
these
get
gorillas...
the impression this has been going on for a
No.
long time, though.
But
right?
these gorillas
No.
have been outside before, and they talk
And they're not
about
like-
that.
They're not like little
Oh, that's true,
gorillas
'cause
with,
they-
like,
they-
tentacle arms.
They do ask about clouds as if they were... But their mom could have told them about clouds, although I guess not, because they haven't seen their real
So
mom.
were there just more gorillas before?
She just had a lot of
Like,
kids.
Yeah, there were
maybe-
so many.
Maybe there were like 50 gorillas before, but they all got eaten.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also ran into this guy named Gaetan Piment when I went back to... what's that town called? The one that got destroyed?
Brisk.
Yeah, I went back to the town of Brisk, and he says, L'autre jour, avant, on avait le goût de manger un sandwich aux tomates. Fac, on est arrêté. And he says
What does that mean?
he went to, when he got into town, he really wanted to eat a tomato sandwich. And they had pita bread instead, I believe. I can't remember the rest of it. But I laughed at the Quebecois stereotype, man. He's funny.
So yeah, this gorilla, she's in the basement. She explains that the dweller pretends to be her and calls one of the babies and eats them up on occasion.
A likely excuse.
They all also seem to know who she is, as if she's some kind of elemental deity. And I forget exactly what they call her, but they're like, "Oh my God, it's you!"
They call her the matriarch.
The matriarch.
Yeah. And by they, you mean like Zale and Valerie and our characters. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
I think that they say that all of the rest of these
Guardian gods.
creatures are dead. Guardians, maybe? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are dead.
And they thought they were all dead,
gorilla-
but they'd forgotten about this one because of the memory forgetting spell that was placed here.
Oh.
I kind
That
of
makes
like
sense.
how this game just drops lore that your characters know and then doesn't get into big explanations about it, and there's no like codex to read. It's like, just deal with it. It's their world. It's full of big gorillas. They're the matriarchs. Duh.
Yeah. She has like a moon on her head.
Mm-hmm.
So you know she's like a solstice magic gorilla. And she's also like caught in a bunch of like ropes.
Mm-hmm.
She's like hanging there all sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Pretty
they're definitely like
upsetting.
intestines because, again, this level is gross. This dungeon is gross.
Yeah, so now we
goopy.
have to go fight the Dweller. And the Dweller is like, it's a
Goopy.
big gorilla spider.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's very scary.
We follow one of the little gorilla babies down there, and the baby's like, "Mama, Mama," and then we have to be like, "That's not your mama," and they're like, "Yes, it is. I love her." Then
Well,
we
this is
tell
the same thing
gorilla
that the Dweller of Woe was
Yeah,
doing, right?
exactly.
Like, it's
Yeah.
just...
Yeah, it's just doing it with gorillas,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I didn't put that together, but that makes sense.
I
So I
guess
guess
it's
that's
a
what
real
dwellers
dweller
do.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
They trick people into walking over to them and then...
And eventually they get so full that they become world eaters if they're allowed to remain unchecked.
Yes, that is how Dwellers turn into world eaters. Their tummies get very full.
And they're like, "There's nothing left to eat except the whole world."
Got the whole world in my tum. I got the whole big world in my tum.
This boss looks pretty cool, actually. It's kind of scary because it is a spider, but it does have these really big fists that it, like, does this with. Like, I say this, I'm on a podcast. It just slams down on the ground and can do attacks with. That's fun.
Have
But
we
you know what
talked
else is
about
fun?
the...
Beating it.
Have,
Go ahead.
have we
Matt.
talked about the whole multiverse concept, by the way, that Rashawn
What are you talking about?
tells us about?
That's a Marvel concept.
Yeah, no, Rashawn is like, okay, so basically I kind of split time into a whole bunch of different realities, some of which you guys win, some of which they don't win, some of which there's no Fleshmancer whatsoever, and some get totally destroyed by the Fleshmancer. And but eventually, and the Fleshmancer mentions it, they're gonna have to like reunite the timelines eventually.
Yeah.
And he's like, I guess
I
everyone's
think they
gonna
call
die.
it reunion.
Yeah. It's going to be like a
Bunch of guys
Chrono
in black
Cross
robes.
where
It's
Zales...
just some
And-
Loki TSA nonsense. Nobody has any
Yeah.
time for this.
And time is getting more unstable, and the more unstable it gets, the more like Jack Joyce has
Yeah.
these there's a lot of quantum breaking happening.
Yeah.
But
also they're gonna Chrono Cross.
points are.
If
Yeah.
Rashar reconsolidates the timelines, then Zales and Valaire and stuff are all going to be chronoed, in which point they'll be they'll be on a dead timeline and stuck in limbo.
Ooh, then they'll get eaten by Langoliers.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Sea of Stars, nice try, but I saw Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately.
I haven't.
Well, don't bother, says Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
I might go see
Well, like I said,
Nosferatu
on a
tomorrow.
rival pool.
Oh. Did you guys beat this dweller or what?
Of course.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I stopped here. Haven't played it since I lost, and I was just like, well, game over. I died. That's
It
how
happens.
games work.
Yeah.
Can't reload, can't do anything.
You have to start over at the beginning.
You're
now.
not allowed to play the start over from the beginning either, actually.
Oh.
When you die in a game, that's it for that game. You're never allowed to touch it again.
Oh, you never. Yeah, you should just delete it.
Matt plays hardcore mode every time, all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Matt plays every game in survival mode.
Yeah.
So we beat this dweller and we free all the gorillas, and they're super happy to be outside.
And see their mom.
Yeah, and the mom is all like, "Hey, I'll do this thing for you that's gonna tell you where to go next."
Fight Godzilla? I knew it.
And so she tells us where to go next, and we get to go to the mossy cache and do a picture puzzle.
Yeah, I didn't quite really understand why we were doing this or what it is even supposed to be a picture of.
I didn't know either, but I was like, I can see where the borders of the picture are, like in the little squares. So it's like a real.
It's a puzzle for babies.
It is. It's a baby puzzle.
I was talking
It's
with Matt
sort of-
about this, but you go ahead, Vanessa.
I was going to say that it sort of looks like the alchemist, like, on his hands and knees.
It does. That is what it looks like. That's weird.
But I don't understand why that would be the picture.
Yeah.
I was discussing, like, in one of the last... There's not very many tile puzzles in Knights of the Old Republic 1, but, like, in the Sith Tower right at the end, you do have to do one, and I was just imagining the Sith setting this up and being like, the Jedi will never make it through this puzzle for babies.
The ultimate security, a picture puzzle that anyone could do.
These slidey tiles will outwit any Jedi.
Shouldn't we just have, like, a combination lock or a passcode? Now!
Or was it lit up tiles that you had to do? I think you had to, like, light up, like, a grid of 4x3 tiles or something.
Impossible!
And so we do the baby puzzle, and then we get the Vial of Time, which is exactly what Rashawn needs in order to help us advance our quest to go to the Clockwork Castle and fight the Dweller there. Mm-hmm. So we bring it back to him, and he's all like, "Thanks, dudes," and then he gives it to Garl, and he's like, "Garl, I want you to smash it." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "But what? We just spent all this time bringing it to you." And he's like, "Nope, smash it." And he smashes it, and it reappears right on his little neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess
What?
it's sort of designed to, whenever it breaks, it goes back to him.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
That's sort of
You
the
would think-
impression I got.
He should have just had you break it at first. Like, hey, need you to go find this vial and then break it.
Yeah, that would make a
Guess
lot
that
more
wouldn't have-
sense.
Break
Yeah, that
another
wouldn't
little
have- that
vial of
wouldn't have
time now,
been as
baby.
theatrical. Oh, and then he joins the party. That's cool. I didn't expect that to happen on my first playthrough.
I did
was
because
like, oh.
Jim Banks told me that he was going to join your party.
Yeah, that's
did
true.
say
Jim
that, like, the
did
first
tell us
episode.
in the first episode.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
But first they're like, hey, your dress is, like, really grotty. Your robes suck. You can't go out with us until you change your clothes. And so
Yeah.
he
snaps
changes
his
into
little
a fancy.
fingers.
Yeah.
It's weird
also-
that he's got basically the same power as Garl, right?
What do you mean by that?
No, his attack does... One, it can do splash damage to multiple enemies, and two, it's
do
a
love
poison. It's a poison-based attack.
Yeah, but all of his special abilities are the same as Garl's.
But they involve
He
time
has
powers.
He has that one great ability that groups all the
Yeah,
enemies
that
together.
one's awesome.
That's
Just like
that's
Garl.
a great one. Garl has that too.
Well, he has
Garl
one where you
doesn't
can
have
throw
that.
one enemy next to another enemy.
Yeah, he has hurl.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has Garl's ability, but a little better. And then he also
has a great heal, too.
He also has the other Garl ability, which is to
Heal.
reveal a lock.
Oh, yeah, he can do that,
Yeah.
but he can also, like, group heal, which is very useful.
Yeah,
You're
his
right.
group heal is good.
He can group heal,
I was
so
kind
he's
of,
got 3 powers, and 2 of them are Garl's powers.
yeah. I like this guy. I didn't like playing with him in my party at first, but then once I started like getting used to the timing of his attack, and
Yeah, it's a little
there's
more difficult. It's a little more difficult, but once you figure it out, it's not. And the splash
Yeah,
damage is fantastic.
I think there's an ability that you can give him, or like an accessory that makes the splash damage the same as a direct
Yes.
hit.
Yep.
Which is super useful.
Yeah.
So now we got to go to Mesa Island
Yay!
and wake up the big stone head.
I
I love
liked
the big
this
stone
bit.
head.
I like this bit a lot. It made me laugh.
What happens here? You're like he asks you. Doesn't he ask Garl to talk to the stone
Yeah, he's
head?
like,
Yeah.
say that, I'll say that you're our friends. And he's like, hey, what was his name? Cashul? Cash Cow? Cuckhar. It is Cuckhar. hey, Kakar, these people are friends of mine. I want you to help them out. And Garl's like, yeah, I want you to throw us.
Well, he says that, Kakar, these are your friends, too. And
Oh,
Kakar's
right,
like,
yes.
friends.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and he's like, you're like, we need to go to the Clockwork Castle or whatever, and he's like, no, it's dangerous there, and I can't in good conscience send my friends to someplace dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So he like refuses to help you.
And so the Rashar throws another vial of time and is like, these are adventurers, and I'd like you to help them out. And then he does it.
That's fun.
Yeah, I like his big eyeball. It's very mouth-washing.
Yeah, it is very
I just looking around.
Yeah, and so we talk to the head, and then we can move
'Cause the
forward
face
to
ain't
the Autumn
listening.
Hills area.
Ooh.
And this feels like just a like a reskin of like that first area. You were like the mountain path. It feels exactly like the
I did
mountain
like
path.
that he asks you to sail into his mouth and choose a destination. Sail into my mouth, yeah.
Sure, learn, and I could spit you anywhere. I could spit
I want you to sail right into my mouth.
I do like the fast travel in this game. It reminds me of Secret of Mana with the cannons. Like, it's always something stupid. They get the first two, they throw you. The third one kicks you. Punty. I love Punty.
Punty.
And then this one spits you across the map.
Have I met Punty?
You have not met Punty yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I did
sorry,
like that Yeet throws you to extol.
Yeah. How do you pronounce the first one's name?
Extol?
It's like Extol?
Yeah. Like extolling virtues.
I thought that was going to be like another throwing pun.
I don't think so.
Like yeet.
Maybe that's what the kids say. Extol.
So
So I kind of liked these hills, though, because you do get to climb in, and then you get a really cool view of the Clockwork Castle in the background.
oh
I thought
yeah,
that was
is
neat.
pretty neat.
I was happy to see it because I was
there's-
like, ooh, that means the end of the chunker's coming up. Although, it was still quite a while.
There's a weird boss at the end of this area too. Like you walk into an area and you see some leaves on the ground, and then this mystery like minstrel guy shows up, and he like plays an instrument, and it brings the sticks and leaves to life into a boss that you have to fight for no reason.
Well, the minstrel actually, I think, gives you like a clue about how to bring it to life, and then you have to gather leaves
right.
into a pile.
Yeah, you have to whoosh all the leaves
Yep.
into a big pile.
And
It
spoiler,
did
that
fail-
minstrel is not coming back and means
What?
nothing in the game.
What?
No, you never see him again ever.
Huh.
So if you have questions, the game does not answer them.
Because
Yeah.
I was joking in our group chat that this game violated my unofficial rule that my challenge to Western devs of don't portray a Asian style character in a cone hat challenge level impossible.
Yeah.
Is this guy Brugaves?
Is he?
Is this because like you see? So,
Are you spoiling
spoiler,
things?
You have to fight them. You have to fight. No.
Okay.
So you fight the monster and you beat the monster, and you can only like do damage to it when it throws its leaves. So you kill it, and then it shows Brugaves there where you fought the monster, and then he's like, "Oh, I hope."
Oh, and this is
like,
where you get that flashback. You're right.
This is this is where you get the flashback. So I'm like, was Brugaves like
Pretending
was
to
he
be the flute man?
Was he the minstrel?
Maybe.
Oh, I guess that would make sense.
Yeah.
But like, why was he doing that?
I don't know. But you
Why
do get
does
a
he do
nice
anything he
long
does?
cutscene that explains a lot of like the relationship between Elsbeth and Brugraves.
Kind of.
Elspeth. What's her name?
Yeah.
L. Frank Baum.
Elsbeth?
Oh,
What's
Frank
that
Baum.
from?
Yeah.
That's definitely a thing.
Yeah, so you see a flashback of when they were kids and they were really excited to be solstice warriors. And then their heroes all went off to fight a dweller. And that's the battle where they all died. And then they came like only the headmaster guy came back.
He like crawled back.
The twins
crawled
died,
back.
and one of the three sisters died. The good
Yeah.
one who had to sacrifice herself, and the headmaster almost died. I guess the sister was the headmaster before, but now that's why it turned the guy who hates being headmaster into being headmaster.
I see.
Moraine's partner is the one that died, and she is one of three sisters, and the other sister that we've met so far was the necromancer in...
So that's why he
whatever
got
the fuck
so
that island
mad
was called.
at them bringing her up at the back in, when they stole the crystal. They're like, "What about
that's
the twins?"
weird. People died. It was like 10 years ago, dude. You can't talk about it?
Well, it was his wife, and they're being kind of like, "Remember
I don't know
that?"
that it was his wife. I don't
Well,
know that is a thing.
Survivor's guilt.
I thought you said it was they were partners, Vanessa.
I said they were partners, and I meant like how Valerie and Zale are partners.
Oh.
Or are you suggesting that Valerie and Zale are also husband and wife?
They could be.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not related.
She's his child bride.
Mm-hmm.
All
he's
solstice
her
warriors
child
have
bride.
to marry each other.
You know what I gleaned from this is that Erlena's always been kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after this happens,
It's-
she's just like, "This sucks. I don't want to be a solstice warrior. It's too scary."
They are
And-
basically like child soldiers.
Yeah.
They
And she-
are, but also with like magic and like prophecy. It's a bit weird to me
Yeah.
because I felt like this was supposed to explain like their motivation, but it didn't work for me. Where I was just like, no, you're just pieces of shit. You suck.
Yeah, they're like, and it shows them making a deal with the cultists where they're like, Erlena's like, I just want to be more powerful and like not be here and have to do this solstice warrior thing, and then Brugaves is like, I kind of just don't want to remember anything. Whatever happens next, I just don't want to remember any of what happened here. And they make them, don't they say something like, try to keep Zale and Valere safe.
Yeah, well, Brugave says, "I won't ever fight Valere and Zale." So
Right, yeah.
Well, I guess
I
he's
don't
already,
ever want to have to do that.
but he did.
But he did,
Yeah,
and then
he
he does.
will again.
Yeah,
Well, we don't know. We don't know that he does because all we know is that we fought first of all, he did not fight them. He made them summon a leaf monster to fight.
No, but in a second, I'm saying you. do
yeah.
have
In
to
like
fight
5
him.
minutes, we're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna find
Spoiler.
him in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're right.
So we go from Autumn Hills to the Song Shroom Marsh. This is just another short little dungeon, but it does have a fun NPC at the end.
It has
And her name
great.
is Yomara.
It has a great. It looks fantastic, and there are a bunch of big tree-sized mushrooms, and they all have little faces, and they smile and they
Yeah.
laugh. I really liked these mushrooms.
And it has bouncy mushrooms that you can bounce off of.
Yeah, I like the bounce.
And you could like open them by using your time powers and watch their little spores go. Did you ever throwing those little puff balls? You know, those funguses that grow. Then if you throw them, they go like psh, and have all their little spores. You ever see those growing, Jim?
I don't think
When
so.
you were
I
a kid?
remember seeing a lot of
course you
spores
have.
in The Last of Us. Where?
Every fucking human has seen the little white puff balls that you can pick and blow on, and they.
Are you talking about a
that's a
dandelion?
dandelion.
No.
John's talking about a fungus.
Yeah, they're
that when,
like in
when
Quebec.
you hit it, it bursts into
Yeah,
like a bunch
it's
of
like a little. It
spores.
was like a little brown ball, and if you throw it, it would go puff, and then have like a bunch of spores come out.
Wait, that's not a fungus. That's a plant seed thing.
No,
It's called a dandelion.
it's
No, there's little ones that like fall out of trees or off plants or whatever that are brown, and then when
there
you
was fungusy
touch them, they
ones.
basically fall apart into a bunch of like little dandelions.
that's a plant. Okay.
Yeah, dandelion.
This must be a
Yeah.
Canadian thing.
Yeah, Jim's
Yeah, that's where
Canadian
I
corner.
see them all the
In
time.
Canada, they don't
Canada.
have dandelions. They have fucking mushrooms that you can throw.
and they make you super.
Little
Matt, they're just
puffball
talking about
mushrooms.
Dandelions, right?
I know. I'm sure that they are. I'm trying to play along. It's called Yes and.
Yeah, they're a real thing.
And we get to meet Yomara.
Yeah.
She's the hag of the marsh.
I liked her. I
Marsh
felt
hag.
really represented. I was happy to have a character I could relate to in this game.
Not enough cats, though, right?
Not enough cats, but I can only assume that they were like in the back room or behind the house or something.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think if this was a play on Vanessa, they'd have like more cheese around.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a side duck or two.
And she would probably like be on crutches, right?
I posted a picture of a brown puffball.
You know
to
it's
the
not based
chat.
on Vanessa because she doesn't mention her ankle one time.
Oh, wow. If you look into the group chat, I put a picture of the little puffballs I'm talking about. If you throw them, they puff out
Oh,
smoke.
that's right.
What is
Those
that?
dandelions.
Oh, I don't like that.
It's called a dandelion.
It's not
No,
a
I
damn...
don't know what
It
that
looks
is
like-
that he
It
sent
looks
in
like
there.
poop.
Yeah,
It's
a little.
terrible.
It's a mushroom. It's a little like it's a fungus. Yeah.
I hate it.
All right. So my initial assumption was right. Just some weird Canadian thing.
Yes. No, they grow. They grow all over
that
the world.
looks like something you'd find in a magical cave.
And then you breathe in the dust, and suddenly you're in
Yeah, it
Narnia
kills
or
you.
whatever.
No, you just have
Or
mushrooms growing in
alternately,
your
you
lungs.
breathe in the dust, and then you run screaming at a cop car, no shirt on,
Yeah.
and suddenly your teeth are gone.
And they're literally called puffballs. Like that is their name.
No,
No.
I hate them.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Listeners, they are just dandelions, just so that we're all on the same page.
So now we can go to Clockwork Castle.
Let's
well, Yomara
not
gives us a
gloss
key.
over the fact that Yomara is the sister of both the dead solstice warrior who used to be the headmistress
Moyara?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Is that her name?
Yeah,
Oh,
Moyara.
it definitely is.
and the
Yes.
necromancer.
Yeah, and the necromancer.
Oh.
Teeks will tell you a story to get the background on
Yeah.
that. The three sisters, and one's evil and one's good and one's neutral, basically.
Yeah.
And Yomara's the neutral one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have to go and get something from her later if you do one of the side quests, and she's like, I can't tell you specifically where it is, but also I think you should look here, and it's exactly where it is. She gives us a key, and the key lets us go through her gate and on to the
Yeah, it
Clockwork
does.
Mansion.
She was pretty chill though. She's like, yeah, you can relax here. You can do whatever you want. I'm totally neutral, but like, sleep here. I'll sell you stuff. It's all
She
good.
has a big garden with a lot of food in it.
She
Yeah.
does.
A lot of cooking supplies here.
And
You know,
she gives
she's the
Garl
Sweden of
a-
JRPG.
I didn't
Rom-coms. What's the word I'm looking for? NPCs. That's what I was looking for.
Rom-coms.
Yeah, I know.
rom-coms.
I
She
am
gives
aware that I
Garl-
said something stupid.
She gives Garl a pear because she can tell that Garl is
Oh,
the
yeah.
only one who will appreciate it. And
It's
he
more
eats
evidence
it.
that this is the Garl game.
Yep. He
He's
eats
like,
it up.
he's like, you don't even need to cook this. He's like, this is one of the tastiest things I've ever tasted.
Yeah, it's
It's
perfect.
just weird
exactly
because
as
he
it
comes from a
is.
place that has apples, and I got news for you. They ain't that fucking dissimilar. Like, yeah, fruit off the vine is good.
Yeah, but like a
Shocker.
good pear, like a good pear.
Come on.
Like one of those
I'm
Harry
kind of
and
with
David
Vanessa on
pears.
this. I love a good pear.
Like a good pear.
Matt loves a good pear too. Am I right?
Yes, I do.
Right,
And I love a good pair of socks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm practicing
old
my
man
yes
thing to
anding
say.
tonight.
I'm wearing
going
awesome
really
socks today. All my socks are awesome socks.
Oh my god, Johnny is so bendy.
He is.
You're older than I am. I couldn't do that right now. My legs would break.
Johnny does his stretchings every day, and don't say your legs would break. It's very insensitive to me. And since we're talking about socks, I'm wearing one normal sock and one compression sock because I always wear compression sock on my ankle to prevent swelling. Thanks for bringing up my ankle. I love talking about it. It's my favorite topic.
Do you remember ankle? Sure, we all do.
Vanessa's ankle corner.
Yeah.
Oh, so we get to the Clockwork Castle and we have to like go, this is kind of annoying to me. We have to go like around it first, like climb some landscape stuff. That was seemed unnecessary.
What are you talking about? Why should it be unlocked? Like you should just be able to walk in?
Yeah.
Do you understand how castles work?
It's
kind of.
Yeah, maybe not.
What do you think the purpose of a castle is?
Well, I
They
had
used
an
to let people
incredible
in?
cross-section
not.
as a kid that had a castle in it, so I think I kind of understand how it works.
Yeah. Vanessa has castle experience.
That book had it had like the tower that you poop in, and then it falls down the shaft, and then there's like a dude down there with a shovel whose job is to like shovel the poop out of your castle.
I mean, you say that like it's...
Was that a real thing in castles? Where's the poop well in this castle?
I'm sorry. You're both saying this like it's unbelievable, as if like sanitation doesn't exist. I got news for you. Just because yours washes away in a pool of water doesn't mean there's not somebody somewhere with a shovel cleaning that up.
The poop smith, if you will.
That's where all the that's where it goes to where all the poop elves live.
And they sing their happy song.
I think there's a snake in my toilet and it just nom 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 nom.
There's a shit-eating snake in every toilet in America.
I'm sorry. I don't know why you have to be so provincial about it. In the world.
No, it's different in Canada. Every country has their own toilet mascot that eats.
John,
that
what's
eats
the toilet
waste.
mascot in Canada?
It's Flushy, and it is a anthropomorphic flush of water. It's like swirling. It's a swirl of water with eyes, and its mouth is the middle of the hole where the poo goes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What's Florida's?
I bet in Australia it's like a scary spider that lives in your toilet.
Yeah,
Oh
probably.
no.
In France, it's just a living guillotine. It's terrifying.
It's a mime.
In the UK, it's a fatberg.
Oh gosh, we're just not even talking about Sea of Stars anymore.
Why bother?
We when we get into the castle, this is where we fight Erlina and Brugaves.
Brugaves.
But they're
Brugaves.
pretty clear. They're like, we're not really fighting you. Like, we are, but it's just to delay you a little bit so you don't go over here.
Yeah, that's fair. I thought it was
they're
fair.
like, hey, we have a pretty cool plan, and you guys are kind of ruining it. So
we have a
if you
pretty
could
cool
not do
plan, and it involves this entire planet being murdered.
that. Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of say this again. So they gave us this little flashback of these two characters as kids, and I felt like the game was trying to be like, here's their motivation.
Yeah,
But then
it
the
was.
result is they're like, everybody can die. And you know what? I didn't fucking buy it. And B, it was bad. It's bad.
They were really not, well, Erlina especially, super not bothered by everyone she'd ever known being murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fine.
It's
with
weird. It's weird because Valerie and Zale are like, oh, like we love the people of Mooncradle and like we got to take care of them. They took care of us. And these sociopaths just do not give a shit.
To be fair, Brugaves seems like he's kind of bullied into it, in a way.
I don't know, because it felt to me like Erlina was using Brugaves as like the excuse, where she was like, I'm going to take care of you. I
That's
guess.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do it all for Brugave. And Brugave's just like, okay,
I'm not asking you to do any of
I
this.
guess it's for me. Brugave.
And also, isn't this where you see where the solstice babies come from? That they're delivered by, well, in the flashback, I mean.
Yeah, the great eagle.
Because you see a great eagle delivering babies.
And also,
we've known that since episode 1, but is it in this episode? Do we get Rashawn's ultimate attack where he turns into
the Great
Eagle?
And you also see him at the end of this chunker turn into the Great Eagle to fly over to the Elder Mist's lair.
So Rashawn is the Great Eagle that
is he their father?
Deliver these babies.
Is he the father?
Where
does he get these babies? Yeah, thank you, Vanessa.
Well, I guess they say that they're removed from their parents, so he's not their parent. That they're like born all over the world and then brought to Moon Cradle.
Yeah, I definitely did not think that Rashawn was all of their fathers.
But he could have alchemied them up.
Ooh, that actually, I haven't finished the game like you.
Oh yeah, so I guess the Great Eagle does take these children from their families and deposit them in Moon Cradle.
Well, it's their own fault for being born on the solstice. What do you expect?
Yeah.
I guess in this world, if you're having a kid and they're born on the solstice, so how many women are just like holding those legs together hard? Just no. Clock's gotta strike midnight. I do not want to give birth to a solstice baby that'll be taken from me.
But everyone seems to think that eventually a solstice baby might become a god.
Yeah,
there's like a prophecy that should they become powerful enough, they will ascend to godhood.
Is that a good thing? I mean, as the two parents on this show, Jim, you and I, do you want to see your kid become a god?
I think I would clap approvingly if my daughter were to ascend to godhood.
I think I would be in the background being like, no!
There could be a
no,
lot
thank
of benefits.
Pass!
Can't do that, you're grounded!
No becoming a god until your 18th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Clean your room first.
So help me God, if you become a god, I'm grounding you from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then you'd be like Maddie, Mother of God, and everyone would honor you.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. You'd be God's dad.
I
on
don't
candles and stuff.
I don't need that. I don't deserve that. You know what I
Well,
mean?
sometimes greatness isn't deserved; it's just thrust upon you,
It's
man.
thrust upon you.
And it's what you do with it that counts.
I feel like any of your children would be happy to answer my prayers, and so I'm kind of for their godhood.
Well, but
descent
Matt would
plan.
also have to answer if he's the Matt Catholics.
Matt's,
least.
it really
Mattholics.
depends on the
Mattholics.
It's like 50-50 if Matt's going to answer my prayers or not.
That's what I'm
Sometimes
saying.
yes,
I'm a moody boy. Don't
sometimes no.
thrust that upon
So
me.
we go to the castle, and then
Sometimes yes, sometimes I rain fire
we
upon your whole city and turn
run
everybody into pillars of salt.
Elphaba and Brewgraves.
Yep, Elphaba.
And then we got to fight them because they won't let us into the castle, and they keep being like, "Join us, it's cool. We're all having fun down here. It'll be great." And you're like, "No."
Well, I believe what she says is, join us. Don't you want to be popular? I know about popular. Right? Am I right?
Have you watched Wicked, Matt? Did you go see it?
Yeah, I did. In fact, I did, and I talked to you all about it.
I forgot.
Remember.
Well, that makes me feel good. Deep in my core, you know?
Would it help
Feel
if I
good.
said that I remember Jim talking about it?
Yes.
No.
I remember Jim talking about it too. Oh, Matt's so disgusted with us, he had to walk away. So you fight these two. They seem so powerful when they
is
were.
the word you're looking for, not
Oh.
disgusted.
Sorry. They seemed so powerful when they were fighting the Dweller of Woe, but now they're not great.
No, but maybe we've just gotten stronger.
It's true.
Yeah, we got the Solstice armlet, solstice armlet, and we have better magic powers.
Stronger than yesterday.
We have an immortal alchemist.
Fighting Brewgraves is just a mile away.
One thing that I think I like it in this game, there's no status effects. Like, attacks do a certain type of damage, but you don't get inflicted with, like, poison or sleep or any of that stuff.
I was playing Suikoden 3, just messing around with it the other day, and yeah, I totally, when you go back on the map and you walk and it just flashes red, and you're like, oh, no, it's one of those games.
Oh, yeah, where it's like persistent outside of
exactly.
combat. Yeah. I don't like that.
I'm sorry, are we jumping straight to fighting the Dweller and not talking about the Watchmaker or the kid?
No, we haven't got there yet.
We're not talking about the Dweller yet. We were talking about status effects.
Yeah, and fighting Elsbeth and
Erlina
Brewgraves.
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 And so we beat him. That's pretty much it.
And they're like, well, fine. They're holding back, obviously. They're like, well, are you sure you won't come with us? We're like, no. So they go back into the castle, and then when's the point where you have to fight all 4 of those Kingdom Hearts villains?
Is that later? It's got to be late.
It was pretty soon.
it's sort of inside the castle later.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's before. It's before you climb up the tower. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't like about fighting Erlina and Brewgraves is she likes to heal a lot, and that's annoying.
You have to disrupt
her out first.
Yeah.
Whenever a boss does a group heal in this game, I want to like snap my Steam Deck in half.
Well, yeah, because
quit it.
They don't have a lot of hit points, but her group heal is easily disrupted once you've unlocked the gates for it. I think it's only 2 hits.
Yeah. All right, so now we get to explore the castle, and there's a lot of puzzly things happening. You got to move some columns again. You got to use your little hook thing to pull some things off the wall, make some platforms. You got to hit some switches to move some walkways. You got to activate an elevator. There's a lot of stuff happening.
You run into a sweatshop run by elderly children.
Yes, who are like not allowed to leave.
Yeah, they are all 10 years old.
Did you say elderly children?
Yeah.
Yes, they're 10 years old, but they have very wrinkly faces and pointy elf ears. They say, we are 10, but there's a spell on this castle where whoever's in it lives forever. But if you leave, then you like turn to your actual age. So we can't leave because we're all like 102 or something.
The only reason that the Organization 13 people can leave is that they have used the Venom Rose or whatever, Vampire Rose
to get Vampire Rose.
Yeah, to get eternal life. But the downside of that is they're in constant pain.
Yeah, if you listen to Teek's story about it, basically it gives you bone spurs, and then you have a lot of bone spurs.
What?
That's what she said. She said, like, every time you, like, use the Vampire Rose, or, like, every time you touch it or something, you get a thorn on your bones, which I guess is a bone spur.
This explains a lot about the next president of the United States and how he's still alive despite all the McDonald's he eats.
He's used the Vampire Rose.
And
why he didn't fight in Vietnam.
At first, they don't believe you that you're solstice warriors, but then you do some flashy magics for them, and like, okay, fine. You're solstice warriors, put your hand on this pink crystal, it'll be fine, don't even worry about it. So we put our hand on the pink crystal, and it shoots a laser beam that zaps away some plant matter, some thorns that are blocking a tunnel. And then he's like, oh, by the way,
the fancy magic they make you do is hold your arm up and use the bracelet to, change time.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if that was going to
And
kill
then-
them. I was like, well, is this going to kill them?
But they become enamored with it, and once you leave, they all gather in a group and hold their arm up and look.
And I like
cool.
when Kale's like, "Come on, are you guys really going to waste time doing this?" Like, yeah, come join us. And then Kale does. Kale's the leader of the elderly children.
the little old man.
Yeah.
Boy.
Little old man boy. So then we have a little bit more dungeon to do. There's an elevator, and each floor has a couple of puzzles to solve, and maybe a chest or two. And you get to the top, and then you're in the room of this floppy-haired person. And Vanessa was very excited.
I was so excited. I was like, yes, this person is a craftsman. They are wearing like a fancy Victorian suit jacket.
Oh yeah.
They have floppy hair. They have glasses. I was all about them until I learned the terrible truth that this is not a sweet floppy-haired boy. It's a little genius girl.
Gasp! And she's like, well, I also can't interfere because everyone in this world sucks, and we aren't interfering. But this master key just fell. Who's weird, huh?
If you're wondering if this character comes back later in the game, the answer is no.
Spoiler
There's a reason for that, is because this character is the subject of a free DLC that's coming in 2025.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Right.
That's
Called
pretty nifty.
In the Throes of the Watchmaker, I think.
Oh.
My favorite part about reading a book is that when they're like, hey, remember this plot thread that we dumped? We're going to make you pay for a little more later.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's free.
Yeah.
Free DLC.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. Like, remember in Jurassic Park where it's like, hey, this one character, don't worry about him.
Sure, he did give away a bunch of what do you call those? Fetuses of dinosaurs, but it's fine.
Fetuses?
Yeah.
Feti.
That's an excellent example, Johnny. The little dinosaur fetuses. You know, remember how when you saw Jurassic Park and then the movie was just like, don't worry about Nedry.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
It
what
was-
Newman
Everything's
had
gonna be
in his,
A-okay for this
shaving
lawyer
cream
character.
can?
Yes.
And that's what makes for a satisfying story, is to get to the end and be like, what happened to that guy?
Well, you know what happened to Nedry.
Well, why don't you wait 6 months?
You don't know what
and,
happened to Nedry's friends that he sold the
Dotson?
sure.
I mean, you do
Dotson?
if you
We got Dotson
watch.
here.
You do if you watched all the shitty sequels to that movie.
You're talking like
So,
books never
does
have
Dotson come back?
sequels. You never heard
It's
of a
not
trilogy of
quite
books?
the same, though, is it, Vanessa?
No, because the sequel to a book is never free. You have to buy it.
It's true.
That's fair. You're right. That's why video games are better than books.
I mean, how else are you going to know about Sly Snoodles and how he became a coworker of Jabba?
Schleich noodles?
Yeah.
There should be like a workplace comedy with Jabba the Hutt and all of his.
You know what?
coworkers.
There was that amazing Muppets workplace comedy, and people didn't watch it, so no one deserves any more cool workplace comedies.
Was that show funny?
I really
got
liked it.
Kind of bad reviews.
I
You liked
really
it?
liked it, but it was just
Are
my
any
type
of the
humor.
Muppets things funny?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most Muppet media is funny, actually.
Yeah.
I like it.
Y'all ever watch that Muppet show?
yes. What, like the original
Yeah,
or
Muppet-
the new one that had?
The like
And
variety show.
you found it to be very funny.
With the
Yeah.
catfish? Clifford the catfish?
No, I'm talking about the one that was like The Office, where they had like cutaways.
Yeah, the one that was on Disney.
I really
Plus, right?
liked it.
What's the one that they made over like
pandemic
Zoom during
Zoom one?
quarantine?
Yeah.
That Muppets Now.
That was
I think that's
okay.
Muppets Now.
That was okay.
That was okay. Yeah. I did watch Muppet Christmas Carol over the holiday, and it's still a banger.
Yay!
Good movie.
All right, so we get the key from the hot watch lady that made Vanessa question her sexuality.
It didn't. I am secure with my identity. I do think that the lack of voice acting in games can sometimes become a little bit deceptive. Not deceptive.
I mean, this is going to be
misleading.
my level up, but I played a bunch of old Sierra games and recorded footage of it. And back in the day, I didn't have a CD-ROM drive, so I played like the diskette version of those like early 90s Sierra games like King's Quest 5 and 6 and Larabo. And hearing the terrible voice acting in the CD versions that ruins those games. I'm glad you can turn it off. And two, I think it's sad that by default... Okay, there's some balloons. It's sad that by default you hear this, just especially like King's Quest 5 has some of the worst voice acting I've ever heard.
I think the best voice acting you'll ever hear is Steve Dorian in Larabo 2.
Yeah, what's up with his voice? It's like
Steve Dorian.
It's been like slowed down or distorted to sound deeper. I was going to ask you about that actually.
It's me,
I'm Steve Dorian. I'd fuck me. Why did they ruin these games with terrible voice acting? They're so much better in just text. Anyway.
They were trying to do something new and innovative.
Badly. They did it bad. It made the games worse. Anyway, so we now have the key to the front door, and Kyle says, okay, why don't you distract Organization 13, and we'll wheel this cart through while you're distracting them. And we're like, sure. I like this scene. Because they have a cart with like that big crystal weapon that they're like, we'll use this to kill the Dweller of Strife.
Yes, they want to help you.
Oh, right.
And this is when we run into numbers 1 through 4 all together. Because we have to fight them while these little gremlins wheel their special cart past them.
And I like that we don't do a good job of distracting them. They just wheel on past and they're like, Kyle, what are you doing? And they don't say anything and just keep going.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Like, what are you doing?
And they're just like, wheel. And they're like, whatever.
So behind them also is, I guess, the Dweller in like a big fleshy gore sack.
Yeah, it's like a flesh egg.
Yeah. And I guess fighting the Organization 13 numbered guys does make the flesh egg wake up.
Yeah, you beat them, and then the thing hatches, and John had it correct in his notes. It looks like one of the flying eyeball enemies from Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just exactly that, but way big.
What are those called again?
And
they have a dumb name.
Flying eyeball enemies, I believe, is the name.
Let's see. Hold on.
Finger eyes.
They're called floating eyeballs.
They have a name.
I was pretty close.
Johnny doesn't believe it. He's doing his own research. Good for you, Johnny. Be strong and independent.
The Final Fantasy wiki says floating eyeball. Or a float eye.
They have another
Johnny
name,
doesn't
though.
believe it.
Airymen. That's what they're called. Airymans.
Oh.
That's what I was thinking of.
Aryans?
Ariman.
Boo.
Why are you mad at me?
John, I want you to explain your note here, because you said in fighting the Dweller, gotta use solstice magic to make the crystal device get a boner and then spray magic light come on everything.
Oh, sorry. I actually here.
Why does that need to be explained? That's exactly what
Here you
happens.
go. Jim.
Magic light. I'm not saying
Well, I mean, it's true, because they cart over their secret weapon, and it's this tower that grows every time you use one of your solstice magics. And then once it's full and throbbing, then it spurts out magic cummies on the bad guy.
Wait, that's just Wheels. That's just the Wheels game.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, we should also say
You are right.
the watchmaker is the inventor of wheels.
Oh, Wheels
Great.
from Degrassi?
Thank God. Thank God we got that piece of information about a character that you have already spoiled for us does not show back up in this game.
I always, we were terrible kids, but we would always quote that part in Degrassi High when Wheels gets drunk and then kills a kid, and the paramedic is holding the dead body of the kid and says, "It's too late for this one." We'd always say that to each other, like me and my brothers, my sister. It's too late for this one.
I shot a kid.
Wheels got drunk.
Remember
and
how
killed a kid.
in 1987's Die Hard, it's a plot point that one of the characters murdered a child, and we're all supposed to be like,
Yeah, but it's Carl Winslow.
Johnson. We're still on your side.
Yeah, he feels bad about it.
Oh, well, that makes it all better.
Yeah.
It makes it a little better.
Nah.
He should have been really flippant about it. Like, yeah, I shot a kid once.
It was cool. Do it again.
It made me feel powerful.
So you start this fight. The Dweller of Strife comes in. It's a big Ari man boss fight. And you basically don't do any damage to it until it's
It's fucking annoying.
Until it gets zapped by your tower.
Yeah, and it keeps flying into the tower after every splooge of the crystal.
Yeah.
So basically, this is a fight that you can't win.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Which is fucking annoying.
But don't worry, Matt. There's another fight you can't win right after. Because then... so it knocks down the tower you're in, and you got to do some platforming. You can't, no fail platforming, my favorite kind of platforming. And you get back up there, and it's just you two because the boy Garl and Rashul's sitting this one out, and Sarai is knocked down, and so it's just Zale and Valere. And you're not winning. There's no way. You're only doing like 10 points of damage with each hit. And then Sarai's like, okay, come on, Rashul. You gotta help them. And he's like, I can't. And she's like, well, too fucking bad. And she grabs his one of his, was it potions of time, and throws it at the Dweller of Strife.
So potion of time.
And
it's just one of his regular attack potions.
That immediately summons the Fleshman.
Yes. Whoa. And Fleshmancer's like, we had a deal. You would not throw your potions at my very special dwellers. I can't believe you did this. And he's like, I didn't do it. This other girl threw my potion. And he's like, it doesn't matter. It was your potion on my Fleshmancer. That's not cool. Now there has to be punishment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he zaps.
Poor.
Wait,
Garl. Before he.
Well, he's gonna zap somebody else, but then Garl gets in the way.
Yeah, but before that happens, he's like, okay, I'm gonna exact my revenge, but hold on, there's light administrative duty. Guys, good job being Organization 13. You all get promotions. Sorceress lady, how about you be my new lieutenant? What's your wish? Power? Great. You go through this triangle gate. You'll love it. You're going to get all the power you need. And warrior boy.
He says, Brugaves, you're going to be the fastest there ever was, I think is what he said. This is a reference to this developer's other game, The Messenger.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
But we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, that's what he was referencing, was a character from The Messenger that I guess Brugaves gets turned into.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And he tells all of the, doesn't he tell all the cultists that they're going to be like absorbed into the or something? And they're like,
yay!
We love it.
It's going to be like that one movie, but who was it? James Gunn did? Slither? It's going to be like a Slither pile.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're gonna get
that movie is, I like it, but it's one of those movies where it's like, is this a little too edgy?
Am
I gonna cut myself on this movie?
I had to watch that movie about 8,000 times for work. So
why?
Oh, just a work thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a little it's teetering on edgelordy.
Oh yeah, I think it's fun. It's a fun movie.
So yeah, they're gonna get absorbed into the thing, and then he's like, "Well, gotta go, but before I go, I'm gonna zap ya."
Mm-hmm.
And then Garl's like, "No, zap me instead," and he jumps in front, and then he gets zapped, and he's definitely going to die.
I did like before he gets zapped, the Rishul does freeze time a little bit, and they have a nice little like friendly chat between them about what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fleshmancer's like, look at your beautiful time crystals that you froze time with. This is amazing. You're so cool.
This is not my beautiful time crystal.
Mm? Is that not your beautiful wife?
This is not my beautiful wife.
Yeah. How did I get here?
He froze
I do
time.
feel like
that's how you got here.
Garl didn't have. He's like, his magic friends have magic powers and can survive this. Why did Garl have to jump in front?
Well, that's just how Garl is. And Garl's like, yeah, that really hurts. I feel like I'm probably gonna die, but like not yet. I'm gonna take my time first.
Garl does kind of like, he's like the only one being punished in throughout the game. Like, the main characters don't really receive any physical punishment for anything, but Garl loses his eye. He gets zapped, and they tell him he's definitely going to die.
You know what? It's just like Wheels from Degrassi. Like, all the bad stuff happens to him.
Yeah.
Like, he finds out he's adopted. His adopted father's a drunk. He gets almost sexually assaulted. And then he kills a kid in a drunk driving accident.
And that's what we're going to get to in the next chunker, when Garl drives drunk.
Oh, no.
Accidentally kills
A kid.
Garl slides into an alcohol-driven despair and decides it's going to be a good idea to drive.
Yep. And then one of the Organization 13 comes out with the kid that Garl kills. It's too late for this one.
But he's carrying teeth.
Oh no!
Oh, jeez, that's dark.
All right.
So yeah, now
Zales can fly.
Now Garl is gonna die.
Zales can fly.
Yeah, they fly. He gets the special feeling in his tummy again whenever Garl gets hurt, and then he flies away. They fly him to the Elder Mist, right?
Yes. Yeah, into that.
And
mist
the Elder
pond.
Mist is like, I'm gonna give you this like flask of borrowed time.
Well, no.
Well,
Garl
demands
has to
it.
Yeah.
Because Garl's prophecy was, when the time comes, ask for a flask of borrowed time. And
oh, right. That's
so
right.
then the alchemist shows up, and the alchemist is thinking to himself, I can't do it unless you ask me. So Garl demands a flask of borrowed time, which he receives, and the alchemist explains, I think, that the flask of borrowed time will keep him alive long enough to do like one special mission, as long as he's really focused on what his special mission is.
And the second he gets distracted, he gets like crippling pain.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Garl
So I
has
shouldn't
had
go
some
on some
visions.
fishing side quests because Garl will be in deep pain.
Yes, he would be blinking in and out of existence. But Garl has had some visions, and he knows exactly what he's going to do next, and I guess that's what we'll get to next time on Square Roots.
Yeah. The next chunker, we are going to be playing through the sequence where we move through the titular Sea of Stars.
Ooh. But
So,
the
we'll
Flesh
get to do all that
Dancer
next
says
chunker.
that there's no way we could possibly go through the Sea of Stars.
Oh, we will.
Oh.
It's actually maybe the coolest sequence in the entire game.
Oh, well, I'm
It's
excited.
Really neat. Yeah, so that'll be next time on Square Roots. John, did you want to talk about Wheels, or did we do that last time?
I didn't play any more Wheels. Vanessa,
Okay.
did you have to play Wheels to get the super great ending?
You don't have to, but I did. I beat all the Wheels champions. Here's my Wheels tip, if you want to be really good at Wheels. There is the knight piece that's like the first one you get, and it has the shortest little press down stick.
Attack meter?
Yeah, attack meter. If you just do that attack meter over and over and over again, you usually win. Like, you don't ever have to use any other piece. Just fill up that attack meter as fast as you can before the other side can build up walls, and you'll win.
Some of those little figures have interesting characteristics. Like, isn't there one that will, like, fortify your walls or something?
There's a wall fortifier. There's one that can go under walls. There's a healer.
There's one that can do wonder walls.
I thought it stupid that when I got the archer, I was like, oh, great, I can just shoot over the walls. That's not what happens. The archer does not shoot over the walls. I did not.
The archer shoots over short walls, but not tall walls.
Oh. I like wheels.
Wanna be happy for the rest of your life. Never make a pretty woman your wife.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
What are you squarely against?
On this chunker, I guess it's Special Boy getting zapped with death magic. I mean, I saw it coming, but still. What about you?
Yeah, because they pause time, so you have a lot of time to see it coming.
Exactly. Yeah. Vanessa, what about you? What are you squarely against?
I am squarely against little children slaves working in the watch workshop. It was very weird. It's weird that they are trapped there. It's weird that they don't age, and yet they have aged somehow. Like, they're still the size of children, but they have horrible, wrinkly faces. I guess it's like a skincare issue or something like that, because it doesn't make sense that they would.
And they're
look
children,
like...
Vanessa. What do they know about skincare?
Children know everything about skincare these days. It's insane. Like, little babies are obsessed with expensive skincare products because the marketing of it has been so effective. And it's like...
That's the number one thing that Jalen asked for Christmas is like a bunch of these Asian skincare treatments.
And it's like, guess what, Jalen? Your skin is never going to look better than it does right now. And
but if she gets that $300 vial of snail goop, it's going to make her skin even nicer.
No, people use the snail goop to try to make their skin look like Jalen's skin. The skin Jalen already has. If she uses it, then she's just going to look older. But that's what all the kids want until they are older, and then they're full of regret. Don't get fillers, kids. You don't need it.
So that's what Vanessa's squarely against.
Squarely against youth spending too much on skincare products and getting fillers in their little baby faces.
Little baby lips.
I did like that one episode of Vanessa Witch Time where they're all getting swollen from the poison. They're like, hear me out. Because it looked like they had filler done.
Matt, what are you squarely against?
I really loved how Garl got shot.
Why?
You might get run over and you might get shot.
That's why. Because I do feel like this game is turning into the Garl show. It has been the Garl show from episode 1. It's kind of obnoxious, honestly. Like, if you want to make a game about Garl, make a fucking game about Garl. And that's fine.
Wasn't that what they're doing?
Yeah, they did. It's called Sea of Stars.
Yeah, no, not really, because in Sea of Stars, the main characters are named Valerie and Zale. And so instead, we've got this weird mixture of, like, super boring main characters and Garl.
Well,
and
Matt,
I'm tired of it.
It's the Final Fantasy X thing, where you think Titus is the main character, but he's not. It's Yuna.
Titus is the main character of Final Fantasy X. So I don't love where this game has gone. And I was really happy to see Garl get murdered, you know?
I'm going to agree with you, Matt. I'm roundly for Garl being assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, I think it also puts into perspective how bland Zale and Valere are.
Yeah,
like they
I
have
agree.
no personality.
Yeah, I
in
agree.
their character at all. Like
But
they're super boring.
That's a failure of this game, not a failure of Valerie and Zale, the characters that are
I'm not
made up
blaming
for
the
this
fictional
game.
characters.
It's weird. It's weird, and you know what? It's bad, and I don't like it. So,
well, maybe next episode when we fulfill Garl's final wish, we'll maybe get some more characterization for Zale and Valere.
When they inevitably fridge Garl, sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Murder someone to motivate your main characters. That'll make them more likable.
Did you just turn into a little Richie from Teen Witch again? That'll make them more likable. I've taken the liberty of hiding your homework.
I took the liberty of making your meals, Valerie and Zale.
He is Richie.
We're only friends because I do a lot of shit for you, and you basically do nothing for me.
You think you're hot stuff because you went to Solstice Academy.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, if this game was about Garl being the kid that was left out as the main character, and that would be way more interesting. And instead, we've got this.
It would be great if Garl, his final words were like, "Fuck you guys." Later, dickheads.
Kind of should be.
My final wish is that you both lose an eye. Finally.
All right, so now we're going to move on to our best and most favorite segment, which is called Level Up.
Whoa.
Hey, Matt, will you tell us how you leveled up?
Yes. Thank you. Did I ever talk about Metaphor Refantasia?
All the time.
Well, I finished that, and I liked it a lot. It was good. It's a good game. In fact, it was a great game. Game of the year for Matthew.
Wow, Goaty.
Well, I didn't play a lot of new games this year. I mean, if I was doing a GOTY list, it would be...
Well, hey,
you are
save
tomorrow,
it.
so save
Yeah,
it for
save
then.
Fantasio or...
Tune into our Patreon for the Game of the Year list. We're not going to give it away for free.
Yeah.
I was gonna, but I got shot down. I'm not allowed to speak.
Matt, why are they going to buy the cow? Which
I'm
means
the
subscribe to our
Garl of
Patreon.
this show. You know what I mean? I'm going to have to die to make you guys care about my opinions.
You're not nice enough to be Garl.
Yeah, where's my home-cooked meal if you're such a Garl?
Yeah. Where are my cookies?
You guys all live in different parts of the country from me.
Good.
That wouldn't stop Garl.
Yeah, it's true. Just
Garl
gotta make friends
broke
with a
into
girl who
Solstice
can make
Academy.
teleport.
Not a girl.
things.
I'm a Brugaves. Like,
Oh, did you notice the people at the kids at the tower knew Sarai? I noticed that. The tower, the castle
Oh,
kids.
I didn't put that together.
Because they're like, hey,
is how
why
I
don't you tell
leveled
them
up.
about it, Sarai?
The kids at the tower knew Sarai, and that's how I leveled up, I guess.
Jim, how did you
Fuck you!
squarely...
I bought a new game called
Wait,
Legacy
did Jim
of
squarely
Cain.
against yet?
Yeah.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Sorry for interrupting you, Matt. Matt, don't die. Don't cry. Matt, we love you. We love you, Matt.
Tell
Are
us
you
about
trying
Legacy
to go
of Cain.
back to Jim's squarely against? A full segment before this? Okay. I bought a game called Legacy of Cain Soul Reaver, and it's a good game.
And they're coming for
It's okay. It might not be a good game, but it's a game. I was really excited about the Legacy of Cain Soul Reaver remaster coming out. I have very fond memories of the original from the 90s. I was a big PC boy back in the 90s, and that was a PC game. And it is very much like, I feel like it's like a Zelda-like in a lot of ways. Like I can't say this for sure, but like somebody was like, oh yeah, that Ocarina of Time game is popular. Let's do that. But with this little known franchise called Legacy of Kain that basically no one played. It's got vampires. But I really loved it, and I'm having a good time playing the remaster. It's definitely not a remake. It has a lot of what I would call big flaws. It looks amazing. They did a great job updating the visuals.
I saw Raziel's goth black waterfall hair at the beginning.
His curtains.
And his curtains were so impressively redone.
You talking about Raziel Brandis?
Is that his last name?
No, he looked like Jonathan Brandis.
He
Oh,
does. The updated visuals look great. It is kind of reminding me why this era of gaming was bad, which is to say the camera controls. So they didn't update a lot of the things that they should have. Like the controls are bad. I do know that the original game did not have like analog style controls, because I've tried to replay it and it's not.
It's trash.
And so they have at least updated it to have, dual analog stick controls, but it does not play super well. The camera's really bad. It's a huge world. It is a huge world that is near impossible to navigate without a guide. and the game is very bad at explaining how to play the game. Like the type of thing that you in a modern game just are used to. Like, how do I use this teleportation gate? This game does not explain that to you. Mm-mm. And you will definitely hit every button on your controller and still be frustrated when nothing is happening.
Yep.
But I am still playing it, and I am having fun. Like it's a good remaster, I guess. I imagine it's in the vein of that new that System Shock remaster that Jim played, where it's way harder than probably it should be.
Yeah, I feel like that one's that way by design. This one is just that way because it's like not very well developed.
Yeah, and I mentioned this in the hot gaming news. Like I felt like they stealth dropped this. I was waiting for this. I was ready to buy it day one, and did not hear a word about it, and just happened to run across it on the Xbox store and bought it, and I'm enjoying it, but it's a tough one. I don't know that I would recommend it, really. I do love the vampire apocalypse plot. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, this is not Twilight. This is not Interview with a Vampire. This is thousands of years after vampires have taken over the Earth, and the Earth is a fucking nightmare. Which is, it's fun. It's like a vampire. It's an apocalypse. It's a post-apocalyptic world with vampires, and it's cool. And I was playing it today, and I got to the part where you get the titular Soul Reaver, and boy, does that make the game a lot easier. Because for the first dungeon, let's say, you can only kill monsters by throwing them into fires and then sucking out their souls, or throwing them into water, which apparently is like acid for vampires. I don't know. Or staking them. But it only makes you do that for so long before you get the Soul Reaver, which does let you just fucking wreck everything that you come across. So it does open up there and become a little more fun. And that's how I leveled up. I played Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver Remaster, and it is a nostalgia trip. What about you?
Wait, I'm going to go next because I have a really great segue. Speaking of vampires, I saw Nosferatu.
You're taking my agency away, Jim.
I saw it on Christmas Day. And
I was thinking of doing that myself, and then I forgot.
Very packed. Yeah, the theater was super packed. There was a ton of people there. The movie's pretty good. It's not scary, but parts of it were gross. One part made me almost physically gag.
Oh no!
So that's fun. I will say the titular Nosferatu looks really cool, and that Skarsgård guy is doing a really fun voice.
Which one?
The one from It. Alexander?
Yeah.
Bill.
No, that's the other. Bill Skarsgård, yeah. He's doing a really great Nosferatu voice. Like, you know, he's from Transylvania, obviously, so he has
All the
this, like,
Skarsgårds are
pseudo Russian accent that he's doing. Like, it's really fun, and I like the design quite a bit. He has a really big mustache, like really big Russian guy mustache, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I like the movie quite a bit. Like I said, it wasn't scary, but entertaining. Willem Dafoe is great in it. Lily Rose Depp, who plays the main lady, she's super good in it. I've never seen someone so convincingly have so many convulsions on screen. She does it so well.
Oh, wow.
Let's see, what else did I do? I guess that's pretty much it. I did replay Mass Effect 2 over the last couple weeks.
Wow.
And beat it and saved everybody. I didn't care about Zaid, so I know he's gonna die in Mass Effect 3, which I actually just started yesterday. His loyalty mission sucks.
It's like 10 minutes long, though.
Yeah, I didn't properly diffuse the fight between Miranda and Jack. So even though I did Miranda's loyalty mission, she became unloyal. So I had to make sure I didn't kill her in the final mission on accident. But other than that, yeah, super fun game. I like the what is it, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition or whatever it is. It's super good. It was on sale for like $3 on Steam over the holiday. So
yeah, I just got the Legendary Edition from Amazon for free like 2 years ago, right when we were recording. That Mass Effect 3.
That's cool. Yeah, good games. I just started Mass Effect 3. I'll probably go back and play 1 too. But what else? Actually, that's it for me. Vanessa, how did you level up?
Oh, hi. Well, I've been watching some Christmas content because we're recording this right after the holiday. And specifically, I watched a show called Black Doves on Netflix.
And how did that relate to Taskmaster?
It's British.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Davies is in it.
No, it stars Ben Whishaw and Keira Knightley. And
James A. Caster.
James A. Caster is not in it, as far as I know. I was
I'm
paying pretty close
Spider-Man.
attention. No, I don't think so. I don't think there were any actors in it who had appeared in Taskmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Black Doves is sort of a spy, assassin, thriller kind of thing, but it has really strong, like, John Wick vibes. Like, it's a world where there are a lot more assassins than actually exist in our real world.
Mm-hmm.
And
As far as you know.
as far as I know, and I know a lot, and they... You know, they sort of exist in these different groups a little bit more openly than they would in the real world. But it was fun. It was, like, you know, heightened. And it had a lot of really good fight scenes. And it is set right around the holiday time. And if you're a fan of Ben Whishaw, and why wouldn't you be? Because everyone is, you would probably enjoy Black Doves. I also started a show called Laid, which I think is on Peacock. And this is a comedy starring Stephanie Shu, who was in Everything Everywhere All at Once as the daughter.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it is I think they're just half-hour episodes about this woman whose ex-boyfriends start dying. And they all appear to be dying in the order in which she slept with them. And so it's a mystery, dark comedy kind of thing.
It's like a Jennifer's Body kind of thing.
Yeah, it's fun, and I'm enjoying it so far. And then I guess I should mention that finished up the very first season of a brand new show called, well, it's for kids, kind of, in that kids participate in it, but I think anyone can enjoy it, and it's called Taskmaster Jr.
I thought you were going to say the Mr. Beast reality show.
The Mr. Beast reality show.
Well, this is better than the Mr. I tried watching it, but it was far too aimed at children for me.
Yeah, it is. It is not, I think, as satisfying as watching adults do tasks for me. But it was cute enough, and it was a little bit like normal Taskmaster, which is my very favorite thing, and so I was, predisposed to enjoying it to a certain extent, but it is a lot of kids. Let me tell you, it's not one I could have binged. It was a good thing it was on once a week, because that's about right for what that was. And that's what I've been doing. I started also Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I've only just started it, but so far I'm enjoying it a lot.
Why are those circles so great?
I don't know yet. I only just started.
Did you play any of those those other machine games like the new Colossus Wolfenstein and the New Order Wolfenstein?
No. Not me.
I know Jim has.
I love those games.
Yeah, so I can't speak as to how similar or dissimilar this new one is. But I think Jim has talked about it on this show that, what's his name? Troy Baker? That is?
Yeah.
He sure does do a Harrison Ford. It really is.
Oh my gosh, it's like pitch perfect Harrison Ford. It's wild.
And I find that, even more than, the acted scenes, the sort of throwaway lines of, saying, take that, or whatever. They sound so much like Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I think they just probably used an AI voice generator based on Harrison Ford and said that Troy Baker did it.
I watched an interview with him, and he said that he had to audition for that part, and they didn't want to hire him because didn't want to pay those Troy Baker fees.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they did auditions, and they played them to Todd Howard blind, didn't tell him who it was, and he was the one who was against hiring him, but he said he picked his line every time.
Yeah.
so he sounded kind of annoyed. He's like, yeah, I did have to go in and do a really long audition process for this.
Didn't he voice Nathan Drake too?
No,
he did Nathan Drake, and he's
not
Joel
Nathan Drake. That's the other guy. Nolan North is Nathan Drake.
Oh, that is Nolan
I think
North.
He played
yeah, Troy
Nathan
Baker
Drake's brother or something.
Yeah, Troy Baker did do Joel from The Last of Us. So.
Yeah.
Which I think is one of the best voice performances in any game.
Well, and he's a fantastic drummer, obviously. Blink-182, Stone Cold classic.
So that is how I have been leveling up. Aside from, of course, my personal war against this mouse that was in my house, which has basically occupied every waking hour, all of my thoughts. But I think...
Why won't Jack take care of that for you?
Well, I think we finally came up with a solution. Because the problem is, I found where it got in and sealed that up, but then I had accidentally sealed the mouse into the house because it had not been in its little mouse hole. But happily I just sealed it with duct tape and steel wool so I could open it up again. So I opened it up again. The mouse was under the stove. I clanged it and banged it and scared it out of there, and then walked out of the room. Jack was sitting at the threshold, and he chased it into the hole that I had opened up, and then I sealed it again. So I'm hoping it will not come back. My house is so clean because I have cleaned every single corner, cleaned out the front closet, looking for anywhere it could possibly be finding a source of food other than the cat food, which I think is what attracted it in the first place. The cat food is up on a platform. It can't be got. There's no reason for this mouse to come back, is all I'm saying. Did I put out live traps? Yes. Did it go into it? No. 4 traps. This mouse will not enter it. It had better not come back. And if it does, I'm getting the bucket trap and it's going in the bucket. And once it's in the bucket, I will take it to a public park and let it go to live a happy life outside.
See, my cat's a mouse murderer, so anytime we've had mouse problems, it becomes a
So
Johnny
you have a good
problem.
cat, is what you're saying.
I have a cat who brought me a dead mouse, and I did scream, and it did throw it at me, because the cat felt I was hungry.
Yeah, I mean, Jack has attempted to get this mouse. I will put that to him. However, I also, from the living room, I could see it, saunter out of the kitchen into the dining room and, look at me and look at the room that Jack was in where he was just, laid flat asleep. And I was like, wake up and get it. It is out. But
My cat
think
likes murdering small animals.
Yeah, I don't really want him to kill it, though, is the thing. But in the past, when there was a mouse problem, he got one. He trotted it into the room in his little mouth and put it on the floor, and then I put a glass over it and was able to, take it outside that way. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. It makes me feel, unsanitary, even though I've done some reading, and it says it's not my fault that the mouse came into the house. It doesn't mean my house is dirty. But let me tell you, if it was dirty, it sure is not now, because I have scrubbed everything.
Vanessa, do you think that the mouse is a metaphor for something in your life, like an unresolved conflict or something you feel guilty about that's eating at you from the inside, like the mouse is eating at your food?
What do I feel guilty about? I'm really upset that I didn't win this $1 billion lottery. I'm sorry, Johnny. I know that's a delicate situation for you, or a subject for you, so maybe I shouldn't have brought it up. Mm-hmm. But I've said it before on this show. All I want out of life is absurd amounts of money for doing nothing, and it never happens.
You could have made the Square Roots house a real thing.
Do you know how many people in this world have absurd amounts of money for doing nothing? I see them all the time on my television. Mm-hmm. It's not fair. The world's not fair. Johnny, how did you level up?
Well, first of all, I was watching a funny episode of Actually, where this season, the fact checker is Brian David Gilbert. This is on Dropout TV. So I know none of you will watch this. But he did.
Don't you have to have a subscription to that to watch it?
Yes. And he was at, but it's reasonably priced. It's $40 for a year. So I got that. So he's in a lot of the shows too. But there's a, the Actually thing was for them to do the idle animations of various characters, and they had to reenact it, and then you got to watch Brian David Gilbert do the idle animations. It was really fun. Sonic's idle animation, looking at his watch and tapping his foot and stuff, and Ryu's idle animation. Oh, it was a good episode. I also got a game called Parking Garage Circuit Rally, which is a rally game, which is made to look like an old Saturn game. They tried to emulate the way that Saturn graphics look. It's like a little rally driving game, but it's based solely around parking garages around the United States. There's one at Mount Rushmore, there's one in San Francisco, and all around the United States. And all the music, and this is important for Jim, is ska.
Oh,
it's got an entirely ska-based soundtrack.
Huh.
And I played lots of Soul Calibur and Tekken yesterday, which was really fun with my friend Teddy. I recommend that. Soul Calibur and Tekken are good times. And even if Bob is not in Tekken 8, which is a huge disgrace. But that's about it. I got those two, that Marathon video up and the Simpsons video up, and now I'm working my way through BioShock.
Well, obviously you're working for the weekend, like the rest of
Yes.
us.
I am going to
That's
have
what-
to go on a trip. I'm going to go see my family out in Ottawa for a few days. So I'm going to be on a plane between this episode and next episode.
Wow, airplane. Are you going to be able to record while you're
Yeah, I'll
away?
just bring my laptop and my mic. It's fine. I'll have a hotel room.
Okay. All right, well, I think that's it for this episode of Square Roots. Before we sign off, I will remind everyone that we do have a Patreon with some great content. You can find that content at patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast. We've got some great level up episodes. We're going to have a Games of the Year episode coming out the week that this episode releases, so stay tuned for that.
Free Matthew. Let him talk about his game of the year. Boo!
You can access all that wonderful content by subscribing to our Patreon at the $3 tier. If you were to subscribe at the $5 tier, you'd get access to all that content, plus the added ability to vote on the games that we play on the show. Sea of Stars is actually a vote winner.
Wow.
So see, we honor the results of all of our votes.
Mm-hmm.
Foundation of the show. Actually, we just started doing the vote thing a few years ago, so it's
I
always
like the
been part of
idea
the
that
show.
maybe we wouldn't, though. You know? Like maybe a
Yeah, you
vote
never know.
wins and we're just like, nah.
Why would we but we choose the nominees? Why would you pick a game you don't want to play?
Great question, Jim.
Maybe the game got canceled in between the time we nominated it and when it was chosen. That could happen.
Why would we nominate a game that hasn't been released yet?
I don't mean canceled, not released. I mean
Oh.
canceled socially.
Oh,
Like Sea of
is there an
Stars,
example?
because it has child slavery.
and child marriage.
Child Gravery.
All right, so this was the last episode of Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars is canceled. And next week we'll be playing Matt's secret game.
Oh, I wonder what Matt's secret game is. Can you give us a hint?
No, I don't even want to tell the listeners. I feel like the first episode should come out before anybody's allowed to know.
Wow.
I am really curious about this, and I'm a little hurt that you're not even giving us a hint.
I assume it's something that he knows we'll all hate, which is why
Yeah.
he is keeping it from us.
I'm
No,
excited.
it's something that you will all love for sure.
Sonic. Dark.
Yes.
Brotherhood.
He figured me out.
Is it Sonic Dark
Now I
Brotherhood?
gotta come up with a new secret game.
It's not going to be Chain of Memories, is it?
I don't know what that is. Oh wait,
Kingdom Hearts,
Chain of Memories. I wouldn't do that to John. You know, I love you guys. I wouldn't do that to John. To Vanessa and Jim, I would do that too.
Now, Johnny has his copy of Sonic Chronicles ready to go.
Sonic Dark Brotherhood, not Sonic Chronicles.
Well, it is Sonic
Says
Chronicles
Sonic
the Dark.
Chronicles
yeah.
on it.
Oh, it's
She
Sonic
read
Chronicles?
She just correctly
It's
read.
called Chronicles?
Yeah.
Thought it was just called Sonic
Me
Dark
too.
Brotherhood.
But apparently, if
You
look,
guys can read.
look at this, Jim.
Oh. Chronic. Sonic Chronic.
I also finished The Price is Right. I finished a game. I won.
Wait, how do you finish?
He got every
I
price
did
right.
well.
What?
I didn't get the showcase that had the Corvette, and I was very upset.
That's so
Oh, that
upsetting.
sucks.
I'm so glad you've
I'm
gotten
upset.
use out of my gift, though.
Well, guys, another benefit of
Vanessa, I
being a
used
patron-
the coffee cup you sent me this morning. It was delightful.
Oh, I'm so glad that you've gotten use out of it too, Matt.
I loved it. I looked at it and I said, "Did this ever happen to you?"
And Jim has 2 Oh Dear diner cups that he drinks out of both of them at the same time. It makes a big mess.
I do.
Yeah, but Jim,
another
Jim likes
benefit
to,
of being
use them in a certain way
To drink coffee.
to filter
Actually-
his pee.
Yeah.
If
So
you
what
put
else?
hot
What else
coffee
do you
in
get?
one and iced coffee in the other one, and then put them both up to your mouth at the same time.
Whoa.
What
It
do you
would be
get?
like-
Then you would spill it all over yourself.
Exactly.
obviously.
No, just a cup of ice and a cup of coffee. like boiling hot coffee and then mix them in your mouth.
Just pour them in your mouth.
All right, Jim. So what else do you get?
Oh yeah, another benefit of being a patron, no matter what tier you subscribe to, is we like to personally thank some of our patrons at the end of every episode.
We don't like
I'm going to start us off this way. Yeah, we're contractually
obligated to.
I'm going to start us off this week by thanking Rachel, Nick, Andy Best, Jason Timms, Anthony Lerma, Ron, Dr. Fine, say everyone's name, and Eric Pitchinini.
I'd like to thank Tom, David Shook, Ross Hartley, Cyril the Wolf, Johnny Five Alive, and mostly rational person.
I'd like to thank John B. Quaker Oatman, Knopford, Rubber Bear, Jamie Black, Jake Dickerson, Tyler, John Scala, and Keysby Knight.
And I would like to thank Hexagon, friend of DeSoto, Aaron O'Toole, Aaron, Vanessa versus the Empire Brain Little, Samu Mitchell,
Empire
David
Brain
Arnold.
Building.
Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron. Aaron, Vanessa versus the Empire Brain Building Little. I don't understand what that means.
It's like
Me
Empire
neither.
State Building? Are you climbing it like King Kong?
Maybe. Aaron, write
Vanessa?
in and explain what Vanessa versus the Empire Brain Building is. Is this something we said on the show and I forgot about?
Probably.
The Man versus the Empire Brain Building is the name of a song.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Is it a cool song?
You know, I don't know.
Oh, all right. Samu Mitchell, David Arnold, Chris Suzuki, to Bumpkins, Butts on Parade, and Jaybird.
All right. That's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to send us an email to have read on the air, our email address is squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come join us at our Facebook group, Square Roots Podcast Group for Smart Cool Very Attractive People, or be skeet at us at squarerootspod.bsky.social.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you to Stephen Morris for our theme. You can find Stephen on YouTube. Links in the show notes.
All right, for Square Roots, I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm Johnny Brandon.
I'm Vanessa, and if that mouse comes back again, I swear to God, I'm going to crush its little mouse skull.
Goodbye.
I thought you were just going to gently put it outside. Bye. All right, hit stop.
Once a mouse got into my house, and I was sitting outside one day with the door kind of open in the hopes that it would leave, and it did. And then I trapped it in my pool net and drowned it. And my children bring it up to me to this day as like a traumatizing moment in their lives. My brother had named it Ricky the Rat, which was, in fact, I shouldn't say a mouse because it was a rat. My brother jokingly named it Ricky the Rat, so they like to talk to me about how I murdered Ricky the Rat.
Last time on Square Roots, we bare our throats for the necromancer, spend some time in denial, and meet a member of the landed gentry. Later, Garl's not the only one on the kitchen. We're served up a heaping helping of betrayal.
Garl's not the only one on the kitchen. Also, that's not what happened last time on Square Roots. Last time on Square Roots, we picked out all of our greatest gift suggestions for our favorite boys and girls.
Let me redo it. Last time on Square Roots, we do some Christmas bullshit because we can't be bothered to record a regular episode.